We are back on Station 655, the Minoc, your favorite talk radio program for the brave soldiers of the Republic. From Coruscant to the far reaches of the Outer Rim, we have thoughts and opinions, and we want to hear from you. I'm your host, CT1586, aka Slackjack. And we are going to get right into the questions, because I'm just going to warn you, after scanning through some of these letters, it's going to get a bit heavy today. From John Myers. Hey Slackjack, what is your favorite weapon to use on the clankers, and what is the least comfortable piece of armor to wear? Favorite weapon to use on the clankers is definitely the droid poppers. Nothing more satisfying than seeing a clanker come down after a good placed droid popper. And most uncomfortable piece of armor. I don't know. Some of the Phase 2 armor we had was pretty uncomfortable in the nether regions, let's just say that. Thank you for your question. From Ultra Shadow 95. Hey Slackjack, have you been inside the Jedi Temple? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I have not been inside the Jedi Temple, though I have seen some images and some holo recordings, and from what I have seen of the inside, it looks gorgeous. It looks spectacular. I would like to go inside and visit it one day if they would allow it. Thank you for your question. From Zachary Wagster. Yo, Slackjack, in your opinion, who do you think is the best general in the Republic? I'm a bit biased here, but I'd have to say General Kenobi. I think General Kenobi has shown the utmost loyalty and bravery on the battlefield, leading us into battle. I couldn't ask for a finer general. Also, his wit and sass are just to die for. So yeah, General Kenobi. Thanks for your questions. And now we move on to some other questions. We move on here to Justin Thompson, who asks, I have two questions for you, Slapjack. It's Slackjack. Mind you, they might be a little personal. Number one, how do you and your brothers cope with PTSD, given the constant battles and casualties you and your brothers suffered throughout the war? It's not easy. You know, that we have resources, we have people we can talk to, you know, whether that be our higher-ups or our Jedi commanders, but no amount of talking ever... It never erases some of the things you see. So, there's no way we really deal with it, other than, you know, we still have to carry out our duties. If it's severe enough, you know, oftentimes we can get a leave of absence, but, you know, it's tough. It's a hard question to answer. The way that I've coped with some of the things I've seen is just by remembering and reminding myself that this war won't last forever. Eventually, it'll all be over. After that, I can rest. And number two, what would happen to a clone trooper if they were to lose an arm or a leg in battle, as I've only ever met a clone commander with a cybernetic eye that goes by the name Wolf. If we lose an arm or a leg in battle, you know, it's depending on where we are, the resources available. You know, a clone may opt for a cybernetic, but oftentimes, you know, that's costly. And depending on where we are in our station, you know, we don't have the resources for top-of-the-line cybernetics. I've known one or two clones that opted to have a Seppi's armor leg, you know, a Clanker armor leg, grafted on as a replacement, but it's never the same, so it's kind of up in the air, you know, sometimes, but oftentimes not. Thank you for your question. From Task Force Mando, Cole here again. Two questions. One, was there anyone on your squad that you lost who you were very close to, and how did you overcome those feelings after losing them? I've lost many brothers. It would be unfair of me to single out just one. I had... It's difficult to talk about, but the way I moved on is by remembering why we're fighting, what they died for, and reminding myself, I have to continue. If I were to give up, if I were to just give in to my grief, yeah, that would be a slap in the face to everything they fought and died for. So, the best way to honor their memory is to keep going. And number two, I've just lost my squad CO. I'm very sorry to hear that. This is a tragic day for everyone. And now I'm then Sorry, now I'm being promoted to take his place. Any suggestions on how I should go about doing this, or should I let another take the promotion? I would say the best thing you can do here is go with your gut. Do what your heart says. You're not a droid, you're a living, breathing, thinking individual. Now, if you think you're cut out for the position, go full speed ahead and don't look back. Do the best you can. If you don't, there's no shame in passing the position to someone you feel is more qualified. Thank you for your questions. From Deb the Second, I have a question for you, Slapjack. Okay, it's Slackjack. Slackjack. Is there any clones that come from a different donor? Because I keep hearing about 2 clones by the name of X1 and X2 that apparently look very different from the others. And if so, then I wonder, why would the Kaminoans decide to use a different donor to make those 2? I don't know. I feel like you might be hearing rumors. To my knowledge, Jango Fett was the original donor, and he's the only one that, clones have been mass-produced from now. For all I know, there could be other, secret projects out there, other donors that we don't know about, but that's just it, we don't know about it. I feel you might just be hearing rumors, because I haven't heard or seen anything like that. Thank you for your question. And now, this is the one I was saving for last, because I have something to say after this. And we're going a bit off script here. I normally have a full set of, outlines of the topics I'm going to talk about, but this has to be from the heart. This is a letter from one of our brothers in the 212th. Hello, Slackjack. I'm CT-45-33-9, but everyone calls me Rocket due to my preference of certain munitions. I'm here to ask a question, and come bearing sad news. Our brother, going by the name of Popper, fell in the line of duty last week, leaping atop a thermal detonator to save his brothers around him. He was an integral part of my squad, and he will be missed. He was a huge fan of the show, and a bit of a clown. Despite that, I always found his questions interesting, and I believe I owe it to him to keep it going. So here I am, now taking suggestions from my squad and asking questions of my own. I'm certain it's what he would have wanted. So my question to you is, do you plan on keeping the station going after we kick the Seppies back to where they came from? I'm sorry. So, I'd gotten so used to looking forward to Popper's questions. His questions were always interesting, and it's a damn shame. With all the laughs that we have, all the fun, all the interviews, the talking, it's tough stuff like this that just reminds you, we are in a war. There could be a day where, Station 655 doesn't sign on. Where maybe I'm lost in the line of duty as well. Each one of us, none of us get to pick where or when we pass. And it's stuff like this is just a sobering reminder of that fact. And so, it's difficult to try and, I'm sorry. This is just, I want to say something. Popper, wherever you are, you will be missed. And you were a brave soldier of the Republic. Farewell. And to answer your question, do I plan on keeping this station going after we defeat the Separatists? You're damn right I do. Even after this war is over, there needs to be someone out there giving a voice to every soldier in the Grand Army of the Republic. There still needs to be Station 655. And I know that sounds, like I'm trying to be all high and mighty, but I've genuinely grown to love doing this. Not only that, seeing how many people love this station, how many people tune in every single week. It's humbling. And it's shown me that, I'm a soldier, but I've also found my calling doing this. And so I'm going to continue Station 655 as long as I can. And again, this day has been a sobering reminder that, none of us know when we're gonna go. So I want to sign off tonight by telling you, good luck, stay safe, and remember, don't take your brothers for granted. One day, they may not be around. There was going to be a sponsorship, but in honor of all of our brothers who we've lost recently, Popper included, we are going to sign off with a moment of silence. Popper, and every one of my brothers, everyone who we've lost, farewell. This is Slackjack, signing off.